Welcome to InfinityCast, the show that explores the science shaping our future. I'm your host, Elion Quanta. In the wake of recent global events, one question looms large in the public consciousness. Are we ready for the next pandemic? Today, we're going beyond the headlines to look at the science of prediction and prevention. And joining me to break it all down is my co-host, Roy Vale. Welcome, Roy.
Great to be here, Elion. It's a massive topic, but a crucial one. It's less about crystal balls and more about data and discipline.
Exactly. So let's start at the beginning. When we talk about predicting a global health crisis, where does the science even begin? What's the first step?
It all starts with epidemiology. Think of epidemiologists as disease detectives. Their job is to be on the ground investigating the first signs of an unusual outbreak. They ask critical questions. Who is getting sick? Where? What do they have in common? They are looking for patterns, for the source, what we call patient zero, and figuring out how a pathogen is transmitted. Is it airborne? Is it through contact? This initial detective work is the bedrock of any global response.
So it's about identifying the threat, but how do we go from identifying a localized outbreak to predicting its potential to become a global problem?
That's where technology really supercharges the process. Two key tools are genomic sequencing and mathematical modeling. With genomic sequencing, scientists can read a virus's genetic code within days, sometimes hours. This tells us what we're dealing with, how it might be related to other known viruses, and most importantly, we can track its mutations in near real time as it spreads. And that data feeds the models, I assume. Precisely. The models take that genetic data plus information on transmission, population density, and travel patterns to forecast potential scenarios. They can predict how fast a disease might spread, which areas are at highest risk, and how effective interventions like masking or travel restrictions might be. It's about using data to look a few steps ahead and inform public health policy before a crisis gets out of control.
So we can track and model. That feels reactive in a way. How does science get proactive and actually prevent these pathogens from taking hold in the first place?
That's the holy grail, and it involves a few things. First, vaccine platform technology. The development of mRNA vaccines, for example, was a game changer. It allows scientists to develop and test a new vaccine candidate in record time once the pathogen's genetic sequence is known. It's like having a plug-and-play system ready to go.
A template, essentially.
Exactly. And the other big idea is One Health. This is a concept that recognizes that the health of humans is inextricably linked to the health of animals and our environment. Since a huge number of emerging diseases, something like 75%, are zoonotic, meaning they jump from animals to humans, monitoring animal populations and the environmental factors that cause that spillover is fundamental prevention.
It sounds like we have an incredible scientific toolkit at our disposal, but it's never that simple, is it? What's the biggest hurdle to making this all work seamlessly?
Honestly, the biggest hurdles aren't always scientific. They're human. Things like global cooperation, sustained funding for surveillance systems even in peacetime, and combating misinformation are massive challenges. The science can point the way, but it requires political will and public trust to actually walk the path.
A fascinating, if sobering, point to end on. From disease detectives on the ground to advanced genetic sequencing and the One Health approach, the science to predict and prevent is more powerful than ever, but it requires a truly global, unified effort. Roy, thank you for shedding so much light on this. And thank you for tuning in to InfinityCast. We'll see you next time.